Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for coming to this session. My name is Leticia Iglesias, and I'm part of the team of NTT DATA Spain as the head of Telco and Media in Salesforce practice.
My name is Miguel Diaz. I'm responsible of the Salesforce practice in NTT DATA Spain. So we are today here. Thank you for coming, and we will be talking about how to get the most return of investment of the use cases using Data Cloud and Einstein AI. Okay, so
Let's start talking about the opportunity that bring us here today to this session. Nowadays, Salesforce is in the middle of a transformation model due to the evolution of Data Cloud and Einstein in the last few years. So this transformation and this evolution of this platform allow us to revisit the sales, service, and marketing processes that until now we consider that were already completed. This opportunity brings us a new opportunity again to contribute an extra mile inside these processes. So now Einstein is not just a concept, it's something materialized. And Data Cloud brings us the opportunity of using data inside and outside of Salesforce, making the data available, something that we did not have until now. And the capability of applying the artificial intelligence to get new valuable insights coming from the data completely changed the mindset about these processes were built originally. So during this presentation, we are going to visit some use cases, real use cases from NTT Data with our clients coming from 3 different industries: automotive, communications, and consumer goods industries. We aim to understand how big companies are now leveraging their processes thanks to Data Cloud and Einstein. So we are going to talk about the challenge. Why this is so different? As I explained, Salesforce is in the middle of a transformation model because of the new challenges in the new platforms. And historically, Salesforce works with a pay-per-user licensing model where, okay, these models are like very linear. You measure the consuming the platform related related with how many users are working or are activated in the platform. But now the mindset is changing because we are moving to a mixed kind of models in which we mix the variable cost with a fixed cost related to the users or the proper platform. So this pay-per-user model increase the complexity of the business cases and make more the main actor in this kind of models is the use cases and the business cases itself. So why is this so different? So first of all, pay-per-use models are increasingly commonplace. Also, and related to this, we need to have the capability of controlling and measuring the consumption of use that, as I said, becomes the main actor due to the high cost during the peaks in the system, the peaks of usage. Due to that, some companies need to develop even new departments or areas inside the organization in order to control this consume or this usage of the platforms. If we bring this to Salesforce, Salesforce usual licensing model has been the pay-per-user model, so the business case was guaranteed because it was related to the number of users that was using the platform. But now, since the cost scales with the use, the business case for each implemented use case needs to be positive, right? So inside the challenge, we have 2 different strategies related to obtain the value in the business, related to the business. The first one is related to the revenue increase. In this strategy, we need to bring new incomes to the company, And the second one is related to the cost reduction, in which we are talking more about how we can get more efficient way in the operative cost. In our experience, the best use cases are the ones that mix, or we find the ones in which we find a balance between the revenue increase and the cost reductions, because it increments the profitability of the business case. If we take a look to the Einstein and data cloud model, we find that we have a fixed fee or a fixed cost related to the platform itself, but also we have the variable cost. And this variable cost is related to 5 different elements. The first one is the data consuming. The second one is the segmentation and activation inside the platform. The third one is the data storage. The fourth one is the data spaces. And the fifth one is the advertising audiences. So the mix of both give us the business case. Here we bring a real use case of a consumer goods client related to the manufacturing and distributing beverages, primarily beer. This is a client we work with because everything started because we were exploring about the capabilities of data cloud and Einstein. We did not have a particular use case in mind, but we helped them to understand their strategy and think about how they can use data cloud, but using a minimal cost. And this is why we found here that Salesforce co-invest now with different kind of models in which they give us free licenses in order to test the platforms with a minimum cost. So in this case, the client was oriented to get minimum cost related to their marketing campaigns, and they started doing a particular use case, and after that, scale to another bigger use cases. If we take a look to the architecture, of course, I'm sure you have been this picture before. If you take a look to the platform in depth, we see the 5 key elements I mentioned before that give us the variable licensing model, for example, in Data Cloud or in Einstein itself. But it's important to understand how or what makes the complexity in the business case, because as I said before, the business case is more complex now when we have these kind of models related to the usage. So if we see this architecture, we see the 5 key elements, but also we also see different stages inside the pipeline: the data connect, the harmonize, the profile unification. So if we go to another level, we see that inside each one of these stages in the pipeline, we have different services that are related to multipliers that give us the credit, that is the coin that we use to measure how it costs inside the platform. So it's important to say that, and we remark the complexity of the business case, because it's very useful to have a mechanism to understand from the very beginning, before implementing the use case, have a great tool to know how much is going to cost this business case itself.
Okay, so thank you, Leticia. We know that there is an opportunity, and also we have some challenges. So what we have, it's a methodology in order to try to do a step-by-step all the things we need in order to get all the benefit from these kind of use cases. So this methodology is split in 4 separate steps, but we are going to put focus today in the first 2 ones, that are discovery and evaluation. After these 2 steps are the more technical ones, where we test, first of all, the technology in a little space or with a little amount of iterations, so we can check that everything we have done in the previous two steps is working fine, and then we deploy or we expand to the rest of the company. So if we start with the discovery, this is all about finding the sweet spots in our processes in order to introduce Data Cloud and Einstein to empower these kind of processes. So first step is you have to identify which are the hot zones in the process. The hot zones is the places where we spend more time, are also the places where we have more human support, and also some parts of the processes that are very affect a lot the customer experience or the KPIs related with the client. So if we see a process, a standard process, what we do here is here we have the different roles that are acting in the process, and also the channels and the steps, and all the rules that are involved in the process. So what we do here is we identify these hot spots in the process. That's the first step, and then we move to the second part, that is prioritize these hot zones. So how we do this? We usually select by volume the use cases, or based on the impact that we have on the KPIs, or the business KPIs that we have in this customer. So with that in mind, we have here again the process, and we prioritize these separate steps in order to achieve one by one. So let me mention here that we have another success story in this case for the automotive market, where we don't have only one process where we can get use cases. We can combine several processes in one use case. So in this specific success story, they had a problem about the stock of vehicles that they have, because this represents a cost. So we combine the selling process, where the customers are configuring the vehicles, with this information that we bring from the stock we have using Data Cloud and Einstein, and we try to match what is the customer asking for and what we have in our stock, so we get the most relevant vehicles that we can offer the customer. So the benefit for the customer is that they can get the vehicle in a short period, so customer is happy, and also our client is happy because it's reducing the costs. Yeah. Then the third step on the discovery phase is we need to ensure that we can measure the starting point of that process, because we are going to introduce new costs and we will expect some benefits, but if we cannot measure the starting point, it's meaningless, and we are not going to verify that it's applying the magic of AI and Data Cloud. Yeah? So for that, we recommend event monitoring. That is a solution in Salesforce that enable us to track some specific parts of processes, so we can have things in CRM analytics or repos and dashboard, where we can explore this information and have all these measurement before starting the next step of the business case. So once we have that, we need to evaluate. Now we have the processes, we have the use cases that we want to test in Data Cloud or AI, and we also have prioritized them, and we have measured the starting point. So now we have to evaluate the return of investment of that. So with this, we need to take into consideration that we need to think about the business priorities or objectives that we have, and then we need to select the perfect use cases to match those business objectives. So with this in mind, we achieved our first project using Data Cloud and Einstein AI was for a communication company that we received this year the Innovation Award for that. And this was the first time we detect that we need to build some tools in order to take all the information, of course, that Leticia shared before, and make this business case in a real situation. So for that, we build a tool where we can have all the information about the use case that we are approaching, and we have the general information about cost, if it's involving people or FTEs or other kind of things that may be interesting in terms of quantitative elements in the business case. After that, as Leticia mentioned before, it's very complex to estimate the cost of Data Cloud or Einstein, because we have a lot of parameters that we need to measure. So here we have some screens where you can see that we get with our experts all the information about the use case and we estimate which are going to be the consumption of each one of these elements. And with that, we can have a cost calculation. This is an example for your customer, where in each step of the data cloud pipeline, in this example, we get the amount of credits we will need to use in each step, so we can transform that in real money. So if we can measure the benefit and we can measure the cost that is going to represent, we can check if the business case is going well or not. Okay, so these are other examples of information we can retrieve from the customer in this assessment situation that we have. And with all of this information, we finally get to the endpoint, where we are going to introduce which are the expected benefits. This is more a theoretical thing, because of course it's not 100% empiric. So what we select here is if we are in a scenario where we are going into a cost reduction thing, we measure all the costs that we think we can reduce, not only human costs, the people that can be moved to more high value tasks, but also the commission of some software that can have in the company, or maybe reduce consumption of other cloud or other kind of services. And in the revenue increase part, we need to detect which are the KPIs that we are going to move with this technology. So maybe we are going to sell more, and we have to estimate how much is going to be that kind of KPI movement, or also other customer related KPIs like NPS or things like that that are also affecting our business. So once we have the cost and we have these benefits, we can get into a summary where we have the cost reduction, the revenue increase, and we can get the total savings. So taking this in mind, we get into the golden outcome of this work, that is the ROI. So we usually get a percentage that is between 0% and over 150%, depending of which part of this segment we are. If we are between 0 and 100, we think that it's a not clear benefit use case, so usually we discard it. Then we have what we call benefit, that is between 100 and 150, where we need to get more information in order to understand if it's the better use case that we can recommend the customer to approach. And when we are over 150, we call it profitability. So this is the perfect, the sweet spot on this kind of business cases. So in this case, we are in 181. So we also take into consideration the error margin that we can have, because as I was mentioning before, there are some theoretical exercises in this business case elaboration. So we usually have things like 15% to 25%, depending on the quality of the information we receive from the customer. In this example, we are moving between 20%. So we detect that we are in all the cases over 150. So we will recommend the customer to continue with the methodology that, if you remember, was first of all test and then expand to all the business. So also we have to take into consideration that we are going to measure this month by month, because the cost is going to evolve. At the beginning of the business case, we will have the implementation services that we will have to do this. So with this, we detect which are going to be the ROIs month by month and at the end of the exercise. So more or less is this. Give you the, let's recap.
Yeah, a quick recap before. No? No? No?
No?
Si quieres acabar tú. ¿Quieres acabar tú?
Venga.
Que queda un minuto.
Okay, so
it's okay.
yeah, I finished. So let's recap all the things that we have been talking in this more or less 20 minutes. First of all, we have discovered the opportunity. You already know that we have a huge opportunity on Data Cloud and Einstein, and now with Agentforce, it's the same thing, because it's also the same kind of licenses. So all the methodology that we are showing today is going to apply to Agentforce. Then we understand the challenges that are involved here. We have to think very well, what are we going to achieve, what are we going to get, because it's going to have a cost involved, so it's very important. Then we have some inspirational use cases, that real customers that are already doing this, and also that we have a methodology that you can of course use, a very simple thing, but you need to go step by step. So you have to build those business cases to decide if you are in the correct use case or not. And also these use cases that we have shared. So thank you very much for your time. And if you have any question after the talk, we are at your disposal. Okay, thank you very much.